Hello everyone, Praise Scooter here, and welcome back to more of Tears of the Kingdom. Last time, we fought the Master Mechanisms, Koga. Master Koga. And today, I at least plan to start off this episode by showing you what all those crystallized charges are used for. So, I'm gonna check that underground emergency shelter in a minute here, but we're now heading over to basically this battery place. I told you to make note of one. Up. I told you to make note of one of these that were up on the Sky Islands, and now also this one. Hi. This is the Crystal Refinery. I can take your crystallized charges and use them to produce energy wells. Get producing, sir. To produce 3 energy wells will require 300 crystallized charges. Is that acceptable? Yes, it is. Please wait. And this is why you want to fight big beasties underground and farm for large zonite chunks. Because this will allow you to pilot vehicles for longer than 3 seconds. So energy wells, you start with 3 of these at the start of the game, and every 100 crystallized charges gives you another energy well. And as our belt will show here, you can have... I will do math, and it won't take me long. You can have 24 energy wells, effectively. I'm including what you get at the start of the game. You can get 24 energy wells, but that is not the cap. Because for whatever reason, whenever you increase your... Oh, hey, we'll do this over here. Because I did get a lot of souls. Let's see. I'll buy one of these. And one of them. But yeah, the energy wells that are on your hip can go beyond the 24 you saw there. It actually can be doubled to 48. Anyway, now that we're here, I'm going to take a minute to buy... Do I have rupees for this? Yes. I will buy trousers just so I have them. And I am going to equip them, even though I'll probably replace them in due time. And I did get the extra, and again, I did get extra material. I did do all that amiibo stuff at the start of this session, just so I had access, just so I get a little more money. And I'm gonna hang on to diamonds, but typically, you're gonna want to and this is probably not the same for everything, but if you get some of these more specialized gems, I would say hang on to them until you have 10 of each, and then start selling them off. Minus the diamonds, I think throughout the whole game, 9. Throughout the whole game, you will need 13 diamonds. So for diamonds, when you get beyond 13, you can start selling them as you wish. For all other gemstones, you'll want to wait till you get at roughly 10, because there is a couple quests that require 10 of these more expensive gemstones. But just so I don't have to worry about this armor any further, I'm going to sell a sapphire. Which I should have sold a ruby, which is what I got from everything else. But I want to get this armor piece because this is the only way to get this. I could have sold a ruby and be good. Oops. But I want to make sure I got that set of armor. 78 arrows. I don't need to buy anymore, actually. So yeah, we now have the full Helion set. We won't be using the full Helion set, but we have it. Let's see now. Okay. While we warp back underground, this lets me talk about this a little bit. So here, there is something that will happen that will progress land development and a couple other things in Lookout Landing specifically. But in order for them to be triggered, you need to... The game expects you to go and handle everything that happens in the Rito region specifically. So it wants you to do basically the major quest that involves the 4 regions of Hyrule, much like Breath of the Wild, but doing the Rito region will advance the land development. I'm repeating myself, I'm well aware, sorry. So if I'm wrong on that, you are free to correct me. Again, I've said before, and I'll say it again. Please correct me if I say something out of turn, out of pocket. You are allowed to correct me on anything I say incorrectly. And from what I've seen from others and my own personal research, the Rito area advances a lot of things in the main story and in the main game. Oh, you. Well, this is oddly enough a major quest that we won't do for a little bit here, but we're going to talk to this guy. I am trapped under the water behind the stone gate to the Great Plateau. Huh, guess nothing else. Just note this guy is a major side quest. And he mentioned the Great Plateau. For whatever reason, the Great Plateau isn't raised anymore. I guess the upheaval dropped the Great Plateau down. But yeah, we're in terms of the land, we're in the Great Plateau. Also double checking myself again. Sorry, I get really shook. That's probably the wrong one, but I get really shook that I might be. I get really worried that I'm not gonna note a shrine on the surface level while I'm exploring the depths. And that's going to lead to me at the end of the game going, wait, I have 151 shrines. Where's the 152nd? Thank you for driving out the trespassers. I will no longer need to hide in order to avoid detection. There is another reason that it is good to have you come. I see that you have the ability to auto-build. That means this Scamma Stone I carry is for you. So, on top of being able to build your own things, you can occasionally get Schema Stones. Schema Stones, Schema Stones, however you want to say it. I don't judge. I just say it improperly so people start typing up million word biographies about how I'm wrong and I'm stupid. But this is what I use a lot when it comes to building. I see things over there in the background. This is what I use a lot, is these schematics. Basically, these are auto builds that will always be available to you that you can build at any point. You should now be able to auto build in additional design. Please wait while I prepare the necessary parts for you to test this Scamma Stone. Sorry, I just felt something in the back of my arm. I had to scratch it really quick. Scamma Stones can help you build things that have never been imagined. I hope that you find this one useful. So, I'm now going to talk about auto build a little more in depth. So again, if you've made something it's in your history, you can make it again. And I believe the history goes up to the last 30 welds you do. So if you haven't created something in a while, it's not going to be in your history. So if you were making something really complex, you're not going to be able to recreate very easily. But how auto build works, and this is where your smaller zonite will come into play. Your smaller zonite ore, rather. Is if you attempt to build something without the necessary pieces in this purple circle, it will cost zonite, small zonite ore, but you can recreate it out of thin air effectively. But if you have the pieces of gear nearby, available nearby, you can build it for no additional cost. Just auto build it for you so you don't have to mess around with it. Well, I did it. So yeah, I can show us a little more detail right now. So yeah, I don't have the parts nearby, so it will cost 12 small zonite in order to build this fan plane out of any pieces. And I'll just show what it looks like. I'll just show what it looks like without the game ruining it. So, if you build it out of zonite, it just looks green. Oh wait, is that? That might be something over there. I kind of wish I had a driving stick. Also, I wasted zonite just to show it to you. But something I will tell you, also I'm just going to stir it up. Something I will tell you that I want you to be extremely wary of. Because I've had to learn this mistake the hard way. Different materials cost different amounts of zonite. Whereas something very simple like this costs 12, and adding a steering wheel will basically have it in the end cost. Go over. Thank you. In the end, building something like this will cost with a steering wheel will be 15 zonite. Larger pieces of infrastructure that are very much more mechanically enchanted, we'll say. That's not the right word, but that's the word I'm going with. Much more mechanically advanced in a grand scheme, of ways, so to say. They will cost much more. Again, I learned the hard way of this fact. As in, oh no, we actually saw him. We saw him on the tutorial island. So those, how did I phrase it? Those floating platforms, so to say. The ones they moved around to get access to, excuse me. Those flying platforms we moved around to get ourselves access to a, ooh, bomb flower. Well, that we moved around to get access to a certain amount of islands while we were up on the floating plateau, to the Temple of Time area, whatever you want to call it. Oh, okay. Oh, I can hold that sword? Huh. I apparently have room for things. Okay. But, those large floating platforms can be recreated with zonite. It costs 100 zonite to recreate. So, yeah. Learn from my mistakes, please. I'd rather not have you waste 100 zonite making the same mistake I did. Also, what kind of weapon do you have? Because I might just throw this, actually, I could have used something. Okay, you have a regular sword. I can carry more weapons. Also, did I leave any parts on the ground? I did not, I don't think. Oh, well. Well, let's view something funny. That's, okay, I love it. But, yeah, just be wary of what you're doing. I've done it again. Just be wary of what you're doing, what you're fusing. Yeah, just be very wary of what you're doing and what you're fusing. Or what you're creating with the auto build, because it will cost you a lot of zonite if you make something that you didn't need to spend all that time building. Also, I'm gonna just, oh boy, turn it back on. Yeehaw! Well, I made it, despite your directions. The building aspect in this game is so fun. I'm mad at myself because I just don't find a lot of enjoyment with it. But yeah, this area is under the Great Plateau, and I already mentioned that big eye man, or big eye guy in the temple behind us. I'm going to call it temple. The abandoned mine behind us. He does have a side quest that we do have to start on the Great Plateau. So, we will be back here later on once we start exploring the surface again proper. And really, if I found the right spot, I could probably just get back up to the surface from here. Maybe. Yeah. You can tell I've been recording a while because my voice is cracking. This is a problem that happened a lot when I did Breath of the Wild as well, and hopefully I don't shoot my voice box by doing things as I am. But when I did go through Breath of the Wild again, I did record somehow. I can't do it right now because I have a 9-to-5 to go to and other responsibilities to adhere to. But I somehow managed to record the entirety of that Breath of the Wild playthrough in the span of about a month and a half. I think when I did it, it was basically I did not pay it. I basically looked for like hard cutoff points at 20 minutes. I didn't watch the video, look for points to cut things off or to make better cuts. Or to make a better cut for flow in the episode. In the episode. Sorry, that's probably just makes someone gag. I apologize. But I didn't look for proper cuts in videos. I just put the whole project in, synced up the starting audio file, or synced up the start of the video and vocals. Then I just ran straight. And then I got to where an episode started. I ran straight to the 20-ish minute mark. And I looked for a good cutoff point. And then I cut the episode off, recorded an intro and outro, and did it again. So this series may not be that level of effectiveness, aka laziness, but I bring that up because I didn't realize what was that for health, or what was that for stamina. Go down. You know what? Just go down. I don't need you. But anyway. Hopefully it won't be to that level of stupidity. And I'll actually like give my voice rest. But I have a feeling I might mess up my vocal cords ever so slightly. Just recording an excessive amount of videos in a short period of time. And again, I don't need to tell you my whole life story on this stuff. I'm well aware, but I do because I feel like I owe you guys like some form. For those of you that are like loyal followers or people who watch everything. Dang, I thought I made it all the way up. I might be able to make it up actually. Do I attempt to go to the Great Plateau right now? I don't know. I'm exploring. I'm experimenting with things. So my apologies if I get a little philosophical here. Not philosophical. Experimental. I probably will record a whole bunch of videos in a short period of time. And it's probably going to shoot my vocal cords. And there may be days where I wake up to go to whatever function I am going to. And I'm going to sound like this. And say, sorry, I can't talk. I yelled into a microphone for 9 hours yesterday. And sound like I'm a recovering smoker. Nope, can't do it there. I've never done this, by the way, so I don't know what the end result's going to be. This is a good chance that this is actually just a quick trek up to the Great Plateau. No, it's not? Yeah, because I figured this would have just been a... Oh, maybe there's something I'm not seeing there. All right. Let me get this large Poe while I'm here. I mean, I came up here. I got to do something with this, right? Oh, actually, I have a vantage. I'm on a vantage point. I am on a vantage point, so maybe I should look around and highlight, use this as an opportunity to highlight, whatchamacallums. Highlight Lightroots. And this is just a good general rule of thumb when you're up here, when you're, in the depths, you know. Get to a vantage point, look around, see if you can easily spot a light root. Because most of the time, if there is a light root, I mean, it's orange in a sea of black. It's kind of hard to miss. That, on the other hand, is something of importance I want to note. I may glide over there in a minute. So, we do know the Yiga clan are here. I've already mentioned this. It's now been properly explained that they're here, even though I spoiled it like 10 episodes ago. But the Yiga clan are properly here. So, throughout your journeys, if you ever see some distant lights, look into them, because the Yiga clan are hiding things. Anyway, let me see if can I go up through... Nope. I guess there are specific ways you can go from the depths to the surface, but they're very... There's very, poignant? Is that the right word? Probably not. There's very poignant, locations in which you can go from depths to surface. But there's like 6 of them in the game. Also, I see that, I see that, I see that, I see that. Thankfully, even though the draw distance for a lot of the stuff in the depths is, well, it's not good. Let's not mince words, it's not good. Thankfully, the one thing that they didn't mess around with when it came to that, that's not a light root, never mind. The one thing they didn't mess around with, for the most part, is the draw distance on Lightroots. So, Yiga Clan hideouts. In every Yiga Clan hideout, there is usually 1 to 2 patrolling guards on the ground. And there is one guy, and it could be the same person. There's one guy that is on the surface. There's one guy flying around or in some kind of contraption that has an aura around him. You'll want to defeat them to basically pull the talisman off this door. The Yiga Clan hideouts underground have, well, some funny lore you can read into, but they have, Mordor is going to give it to me in, they will always be guarding 20 crystallized charges, and they'll be guarding a schematic, or, for lack of better terms, a scamastone. So, seeking out and defeating the Yiga underground will help you make auto builds, so you can kind of get ideas of what to build for your own little projects you have in the game. And the motorcycle is basically that thing down there. Oh, also that Yiga clan member dropped his goodies. Well, I'm gonna go down here, and I'm gonna just introduce this man's head to arrows, so I can get their goodies. Also to get their mighty bananas. Banana. I don't know why. I love this. Oh, there's another one patrolling the outside. He probably knows I'm here, but he can't really do much. I do love going through these Yiga bases. Let go. Not so much for the lore on the Yiga clan and all that stuff, because they're basically humans on a land they're basically humans on a land that is forsaken for more or less. Oh, another duplex. Oh, nice. They're basically humans on a land that is forsaken. They're doing their best down here, so a lot of the stuff you get is basic survival needs you need for the depths. Stage first transportation contracts, whatever. I'm just gonna thumb through it. You can read it. Now, I forget, this is the, by the way, this is the schematic we just got. A lot of times when you find a Yiga base, a lot of them will be driving the vehicle that you get the schematic for. Okay, well, that one's broken. It seems to be running fine. It's broken. Let's backtrack. Let's backtrack a little bit and get that Lightroot I missed over there. Also, I'm going to take a bit of a break here just to rest my vocals and get a drink. Actually, we'll come to that Lightroot next time. Everyone, thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you then. Take care.